a special corps and those in other tactical units. And as schools resume, gradually, after months of closure due to the global pandemic, teachers celebrate their day to ponder on the challenges of the noble profession. This is Panorama, live on the network service of the NTA. I'm Ienre John. Thank you for joining us. President Muhammadu Buhari has opened the joint executive and legislative leadership retreat in Abuja. The president noted that the retreat is to create synergy and promote harmonious working relationship between the two arms of government.
This retreat provides us another opportunity to interface, reflect, brainstorm, and engage as one government. I use the word one government because there can only be one government in a nation at a time, and officials, both elected and appointed in the executive or legislative arm, must all be working for the peace, unity, and development of our country. This retreat named, I quote, promoting effective executive-legislative partnership, finding a middle ground, unquote, is apt as it reflects the peculiarity of a presidential system of government like ours.
The president also suggested that a technical committee be established to ensure the outcome of the retreat is carried out effectively. Mankind thrives on information, hence the need to communicate. As Nigeria turns 60, Joseph Johnson takes a look at the trajectory of the communications sector in recent times and how it is shaping the future of ICT in the country.
From the days of radio messages, telegram, letters, and the privileged few with landline telephones, Nigeria has become a kind of hub for modern telecommunication. No serious ICT or telecommunication outfit will ignore the country due to the high figures that drive traffic of internet signals, volume of communication gadgets, and the likes. Apart from consuming these communications menu, Nigeria is also playing its role in development, innovation, and other intellectual contributions to the sector.
About 10 startups to this exhibition. 2 out of the 10 have participated in the semi-final pitching. So this shows that our startups, they have innovative ideas and they have ideas that can impact life globally.
The GDP of Nigeria is also feeling the impacts of the ICT sector. In the second quarter of 2020 alone was more than 17%, with predictions that if the contribution of digital economy to the GDP is computed, it could be more than 45%. The government is seeking to explore and fast-track the frontier for digital Nigeria.
We want to ensure that in the next 10 years, we don't have a traditional or manual Nigeria, but rather a digital Nigeria. Each and every Nigerian is encouraged to key into a digital Nigeria.
The coronavirus pandemic story may be a sad one for many sectors, but for the ICT, it is a sweet lullaby due to the overwhelming traffic it has brought to the internet, with Nigeria set to be one of the highest users in the world. These has spurred the country to galvanize digital skills and increased broadband penetration.
I think this minister is doing quite a lot to develop ICT in the country. There's still a gap. I think there's still quite a lot to be done.
Ministry of Communication and Digital Economy, especially this administration, has done a lot in terms of policy formulation, streamlining ICT services in the country, and the major efforts of bringing government services online.
This might very well be an era where all hands will have to be on keyboards, phone keypads, or whatever digital device just to get by. And of course, Nigerians, like never before, are joining the rest of the world in keeping up with the new normal. Joseph Johnson, NTA News.
And on security, Vice President Ienre has expressed concern over young Nigerians being indiscriminately brutalized by men of the Nigerian police force, especially the Special Anti-Robbery Squad and those in other tactical units. The Vice President, during a chat with the press at the presidential villa in Abuja, described these actions as totally objectionable and unacceptable, assuring Nigerians that the reform in the police force to curb these excesses is in the offing. State House correspondent Jide Onifade reports.
The Vice President's reaction follows the concern raised by other Nigerians over the arrest of young men and women suspected to be fraudsters by some police officers. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo condemns in way and manner this has been done, stressing that the President is equally averse to this.
The arrest, maiming, killing of young people, of anyone at all, by these same individuals is completely wrong. It is unlawful, it is illegal, and anybody, all of those who are involved in this ought to be investigated and prosecuted. Now, I'm sure that today, this afternoon, I had a meeting with the IG of police. We reviewed several of these issues. The President and I have had discussions on this. He's very, very concerned about it. Wants to see a reform. A few bad eggs within the police force causing a lot of these, and because it's all over the place in different states, there's a need, of course, to take serious action. I think that the IG statement today is a good first step.
Commenting on the recent increase in the price of premium motor spirit, otherwise known as petrol, and electricity tariff, the Vice President says government is in no way plan to put burden on the people, but the action is inevitable as no one expected the downturn of the economy, especially as the country had 12 consecutive months of economic growth before COVID-19 sets in, causing global economic crisis.
But the important thing is that the President and the government are committed completely to ensuring that Nigerians do not suffer needlessly, and that in whatever way it is possible will reduce the burden on Nigerians. I'm sure you're aware of the efforts we're making about putting solar home systems. This is part of the Economic Sustainability Plan in 5 million Nigerian homes, along with the private sector. The funding for that has been provided by the central bank through loans that are coming through the commercial banks. We're also looking at various ways of improving supply, the power supply, and improving access to power and making it even cheaper.
Vice President Osinbajo commends the civil society organizations for often bringing the attention of the federal government to the concerns of the people, and urges them to continue working with government for a better nation. In the State House, Jide Onifade, NTA News.
In the meantime, the Deputy President of the Senate, Senator Ovie Omoagege, has condemned the activities of the Special Anti-Robbery Squad, SARS, in a statement by the Special Advisor to the Deputy President of the Senate on Media and Publicity, Yomi Odonuga. Senator Omoagege expressed concern over the incessant cases of extrajudicial killings, harassment, illegal arrest, and extortion of defenseless citizens by the officers. He cited the alleged shooting of a man by operatives of SARS in his constituency in Ughelli, Delta State, over the victim's alleged refusal to allow the operatives to search his phone, as well as another shooting of a youth in the town by men of the Operation Delta Safe over the same reason. He advised youths in the area to remain law-abiding as he called on the police to fish out the culprits for prosecution to serve as deterrent. And in Zamfara, in furtherance of the ongoing carrot and stick approach to achieving lasting peace, Governor Bello Muhammad has facilitated the rescue of 11 kidnapped persons from bandits without payment of ransom. This is coming at a time when the governor summoned a stakeholders meeting to discuss further avenues of achieving peace without bloodshed in the state. The victims, comprising 8 men, 2 women and a baby, are from various states, which include Bauchi, Niger, Sokoto and Zamfara. The victims, most of whom had been in captivity for more than 4 weeks, expressed delight and gratitude to Almighty Allah for regaining their freedom. Zamfara State Governor Bello Muhammad, who received them at the Government House, Gusau, said his administration will not rest on its oars until lasting peace is achieved in all parts of the state. He directed that the victims be taken to the hospital for medical checkup before they are finally released to their respective families. And away from Zamfara now, the National Assembly Service Commission has confirmed the appointment of Ojo Amos Olatunde as clerk to the National Assembly. A statement by the Executive Chairman of the Commission, Ahmed Kadi Amshi, Dauda Ibrahim Eladan, has also been confirmed as the clerk to the Senate, as well as other top management staff of the National Assembly Service appointed on 30th September 2020. The Commission also appointed Francis Chinedu Akabweze as a substantive clerk of the House of Representatives with effect from 25th November 2020. It is October 5, the day set aside by UNESCO, ILO and Education International to recognize and celebrate educators, including teachers, researchers and professors. Globally, to mark the day in Nigeria, teachers across the nation converge on Eagle Square to take stock of achievements and draw attention to voices of teachers who are working hard to meet the global education targets. Speakers say if there was ever any year to appreciate teacher, it is 2020, because amid a pandemic, teachers have become ever more vital as they navigate how to help students adjust to distance learning and adapt to COVID-19 safety guidelines. There are gift items for presidents, teachers and schools. Excellence Award for Outstanding Educators. The theme for this year's celebration is Teachers Leading in Crisis, Reimagining the Future. The First Lady, Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, has urged Nigerian youth to maintain high spirit of patriotism, hard work and selfless service towards moving the country to greater height. This came to light when the First Lady hosted some of the National Youth Service Corps members to a dinner at the Presidential Villa in an appreciation of their performance during the 60th Independence Anniversary Parade, which took place at Eagle Square, Abuja. State House correspondent Aliyu Kabir reports.
Graduating from various tertiary institutions of learning, Nigerian youth are expected to serve a 1-year mandatory national service under the National Youth Service Corps, NYSC. It is in this spirit, these youth corps members are enjoying the privilege of being the special guests of the First Lady of Nigeria, Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, in recognition of their brilliant performances during the Nigeria's Diamond Independence Anniversary Parade at Eagle Square on October 1st, 2020.
As youth, the creativity of the NYSC along with the military shows that Nigeria youth is capable of doing well at any given opportunity. You kept everyone entertained throughout the parade. This is the reason I decided to invite you in order to recognize your effort. Let me use this opportunity to congratulate you for being part of this memorable event and to inform you that this spirit of patriotism will lead you to greater success in your future endeavors.
The First Lady also urged them to maintain high spirit of patriotism and take advantage of the youth-driving opportunities provided by the present administration geared towards self-reliance and economic advancement. The Director General of the NYSC responded on behalf of the corps members.
This is the first time in the history of the NYSC that the First Lady is hosting corps members in appreciation of their performance. We thank our First Lady, which is an indication of her love for the youth of this country. And I want to assure her that this is going to boost the morale of corps members nationwide to do more.
The DG, NYSC and other critical stakeholders reassured the First Lady of their commitment to supporting her in the quest of improving the lives of women, children and other vulnerable people in the society. From the State House, Aliyu Kabir.
Let's take a quick break now. Panorama continues shortly.
For now, the best and most efficient way to avoid getting infected is through regular hygienic and sanitary practices, as well as social distancing. As individuals, we remain the greatest weapon to fight this pandemic. By washing our hands regularly with clean water and soap, disinfecting frequently used surfaces and areas, coughing into a tissue or elbow, and strictly adhering to infection prevention control measures in health facilities, we can contain this virus.
Coronavirus is real. Steps to avoid this pandemic. Wash your hands regularly or sanitize your hands. Keep social and physical distancing. Avoid crowded places. Stay at home unless absolutely necessary. Don't touch your eyes, nose, or mouth if your hands are not clean. Avoid the spread of coronavirus. Coronavirus is real.
Thank you for staying. Since Agonized Labour reasoned with the imperatives of fuel price adjustment last week and took the path of sense in opening further window of dialogue on the service-based electricity tariff, some groups of Nigerians have been disgruntled. A statement by the Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, says those interest groups had apparently perfected plans to use the strike by the labour unions as smokescreen to unleash anarchy on the land, fomenting mayhem and civil disobedience. But the plan blew up in their faces and they have been in severe pain since then. They have launched series of attacks against organized labour. For some others, bitter enders who have remained entrenched in pre-2015 and 2019 elections mode, it was an opportunity to avenge the 2012 Occupy Nigeria protest, which they believe largely devalued the government of the day and led to its eventual ouster in 2015. The strike that was to have come up last week, they wanted to use as opportunity for a pound of flesh, which they calculated would weaken the government so much and influence the 2023 elections. For them, they have since then been calling organized labour all sorts of names, claiming they deceived Nigerians. The time in which we live with severe security, economic and social challenges call for all hands to be on deck and goodwill and support for government as it strives to put the nation on an even keel. We commend organized labour for putting the country first. Now, a quick check at the numbers as regards the pandemic. New data released by the Nigeria Center for Disease Control and CDC indicates that there are 58 new cases of COVID-19, the lowest recorded in months across the country. These 58 new cases bring the total number of confirmed cases to 59,345 in Nigeria. Plateau State leads the breakdown with 18 new cases, Lagos 15, Katsina 10, Ogun 5, Kaduna 4, Edo has 3, while Ekiti, Ondo and FCT recorded 1 new case each. Lagos maintains the lead in the NCDC case per state chart with 19,651 cases. Next is the FCT with 5,746 confirmed cases, while Plateau follows with 3,497 cases. 50,768 recovered patients have been discharged with 1,113 deaths on record for now. high-powered presidential delegation from Niger Republic, led by the Minister for Education, Dauda Muhammadu Marte, was in Maiduguri, the Borno State capital, to commiserate with the government and people of the state over the recent attack on Governor Zulum's convoy along Mogunu-Baga Road. Mohammed Goni reports that the Nigerian delegation also paid homage on the Shehu of Borno.
A substantial number of Nigerian refugees of Borno extraction are currently taking refuge in neighboring Niger Republic, which has further cemented the ties between the two neighboring countries that predates the colonial era. The high-powered delegation, led by the country's Minister for Education, Dauda Muhammadu Marte, was in Borno at the instance of the Nigerian President Muhammadu Yusufu to sympathize with Governor Babagana Umara over the recent attack on his convoy on his way to Baga in Kukawa local government. President Muhammadu Yusufu noted the concern and commitment of Governor Zulum for the welfare of the Nigerian refugees, which he said informed the repeated visit by the governor to Niger to provide support, and further described Governor Babagana Umara as a courageous leader. The Nigerian leader further applauded the decision of government of voluntary return of IDPs to their communities, adding that it is the best option in the present circumstance, assuring that government of Niger will be willing to attend official resettlement of communities such as Malampatori in Abadam local government. Governor Babagana Umara thanked the Nigerian government and people for the show of solidarity, empathy and support to him and other Nigerians, with a pledge to convey same to President Muhammadu Buhari.
The government of Nigeria under the leadership of President Buhari, as well as the government of Borno State under my leadership, will continue to collaborate with the government of Nigeria.
The governor also thanked the Nigerian authorities for hosting refugees of Borno extraction and further pledged to attend festivities built to be held in Difa to further cement the existing ties. The Nigerian presidential delegation also paid homage on the Shehu of Borno, Alhaji Abubakar Ibn Umar Garba El Kanemi, where the royal father appreciated them for the visit and concern for the people, especially in these trying times. In Maiduguri, Mohammed Goni, NTA News.
The presidency has responded to recurring threats to the corporate existence of the country, with factions giving specific timelines for the president to do one thing or another, or else, in their language, the nation will break up. In a statement, the presidency warns that such unpatriotic outbursts are both unhelpful and unwarranted, as this government will not succumb to threats and take any decision out of pressure at a time when the nation's full attention is needed to deal with the security challenges facing it at a time of the COVID-19 health crisis. It further says the president as an elected leader and that this constitution has the interest of 200 million Nigerians who are the president's first responsibility under the constitution, and will continue to work with patriotic Nigerians through and in line with the parliamentary processes to finding solutions to structural and other impediments to the growth and well-being of the nation and its people. And now a bit of sports. Tottenham whitewashed Manchester United 6-1 as Leicester City equally lost at home 0-3 to West Ham. Also on EPL on Sunday, West Brom lost to Southampton 2-0. Wolves beat Fulham by a lone goal as Arsenal beat Sheffield 2-1. For other sports stories, let's join Amanzi Marcos now.
Super Eagles and Napoli forward Victor Osimhen has been granted permission by the Nigeria Football Federation to be away from camp ahead of two international friendlies between the Super Eagles and AFCON champions, the Foxes of Algeria, on October 9 and the second against the Carthage Eagles of Tunisia on October 13. Paul Onuachu of Genk in Belgium is Osimhen's replacement as the Super Eagles open camp in Austria on Tuesday, with both matches holding at Jacques Le Mans Arena in St. Yvette and de Glan in the southern Austrian state of Carinthia. In tennis, 19-time Grand Slam champion Rafael Nadal edged out American qualifier ranked 213 Sebastian Korda 6-1, 6-1, 6-2 to progress to the quarterfinals at Roland Garros. However, there was an upset in the women's game as Polish teenager and world number 54 Iga Swiatek used 68 minutes to dump Simona Halep, the world number 2, out of the French Open with a scoreline of 6-1, 6-2. In athletics, Ethiopia's Shura Kitata is the surprise winner of Sunday's London Marathon, displacing Kenya's Eliud Kipchoge, the 4-time winner and defending champion, who placed 8th. suffering his first defeat since 2013. The 24-year-old Kitata outsprinted Kenya's Vincent Kipchumba by 1 second to win in 2 hours, 5 minutes, 41 seconds. The Kenyans were, however, consoled with Bridget Kosgei taking the tape in 2 hours, 18 minutes, 58 seconds, 3 minutes ahead of American Sarah Hall. COVID-19 restrictions ensured only elite athletes competed in 19.8 laps around St. James Park, covering 42.195 kilometers. With sports update, Manzi Marcus, NTA News.
Let's continue to speak up against rape and rapists and also report where it is appropriate. That's Panorama today. Many thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day.